Alright, fourth graders, today we're going to assemble our emojis to create an Agamograph. So we're going to need your 2 emoji paintings, and you're going to need to team up with a partner to make this background or this accordion fold, which is where your painting is going to go. So at the drive-thru, you're going to need to grab a piece of tag board, and we're going to be doing an accordion fold across the length of that whole piece of tag board. So to do that, what you need to do is with a ruler, you need to measure out 2 inches, okay? So I line up my ruler with the very edge of my page, and I make a little dash at that big number 2 at the top and at the bottom. This is kind of my guide that's showing me where my paper needs to fold for this very first one. So I'm going to turn it over so the dashes are facing the table, and I'm going to carefully kind of fold my paper over. You really need to focus. If you're having trouble, ask 3 before me. So you may ask your table partners, you may look at my example on the board, you may look at the direction sheet, but you're asking 3 before me. You kind of have to be independent in this. So I'm folding this over, and I'm looking for those little dashes at the side. And I'm going to make a crease just at my little dash, kind of as like a guide fold, and over at the other side, kind of as a little guide fold. So these 2 edges are lined up. Once I have that lined up with my 2 dashes, I'm going to make my final fold, and I'm going to make a really good crease with my nail. Okay? Now accordion fold goes back and forth, back and forth. So I'm going to flip my paper over. I'm going to start folding, and I'm lining my fold up with this edge from my previous fold. So I'm going to kind of start at the edges again, line them up, make a little crease at the edge, make a little crease at the edge. Once it's lined up, I can crease the whole thing. Okay? You might see a little bit of that fold on there, but it should be right lined up with the edge of your paper. Alright, I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to do a little crease on this edge, a little crease on this edge, and make my final fold. Okay? Those little creases on either edge are kind of like my guide creases. They're telling me this is the spot where my paper is going to fold, and then I can do the whole thing. If you just start doing the whole fold, you might end up with a crooked line. Okay? And we're going to try really hard to make these nice and straight, solid 2 inches on each side. Okay? Do you notice I can't really talk as I do this? I kind of start to pause as I get to the fold. This might be a part of our project where you really need to concentrate, and you might be asking a partner for help. But other than that, you might not be able to talk very much, and that's okay. Now, you might have kind of a wonky little fold at the end here. That's what happened on this one. Okay, do you notice that little tab here isn't quite a whole fold? That's okay. That's going to help me with my attachment at the very end. So you and your partner each need to do one of these. Okay? Alright, I'm going to put my accordion fold off to the side because I need to cut up my emoji paintings, and I'm going to do one at a time. Alright, so I'm going to start with the smoochy face, and I'm going to flip it over, and I need to be aware of these 2 inches again. Alright, I'm going to go 2 inches across my whole top of my paper with little dashes, so I need to line up my ruler with the edge, and go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and then 12 at the edge. When I measure something or I have to make a straight line, I do little dashes on either side of where that line is beginning and starting, so I need to do a little dash at the bottom, line up my ruler, and count by 2s again. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12. This is something that even my high schoolers have to have a reminder for, 4th grade. So I line up my 2 dashes, hold my ruler steady, and make a line. Now, if you need help with this, ask your neighbor, hey neighbor, can you maybe hold my ruler while I draw my line? And of course they would say, yes, your neighbor is there to help you. We are all friends and kind of like a team in here. Hold my ruler steady, line up those dashes, and draw a straight line. Okay, if your ruler wiggle woggles and all of a sudden you accidentally draw a diagonal line, that's okay, it's the back. Just try it again. Okay, you could maybe cross that line out so your scissors doesn't accidentally follow them. Alright, I'm going to cut my beautiful emoji painting up, and that's okay. I'm going to be using it for my Agamograph. Alright, here's one. Flip it over. Here's 2. I need to start putting my emoji together, kind of like putting a puzzle together. Here's 3. Four, and my last cut. I want to have that emoji all laid out before I start any gluing, okay? So I'm going to pull out my accordion fold that I was just working on, and I'm going to lay my emoji painting out on this accordion fold. I want to see it all on one side, so I'm working on the inside left of this painting. See how they're all going on the inside left? Now, this is going to happen to you guys too. I have not enough of my accordion folds, and that's where your partner comes in, okay? Your teammate. They are going to add, or between the two of you, you are going to make one more accordion fold to add on the rest of your emoji painting, okay? So this is going to get cut in half right here. So my partner and I, between the two of us, we have made 3 accordion folds, and one of them got cut in half. One goes to my partner, the other one comes to me, and that's where the rest of my emojis are going to go, okay? Now, I like to have somebody double check this and look at it before I start to glue, because once I start to glue, it becomes a real big challenge to unstick them. So have your partner look and double check, is your painting organized the right way, okay? Having that second pair of eyes really helps you out, all right? So I need to use a glue bottle and some glue, and because I'm using tape board 4th grade, this is going to be a real challenge to glue. So at your tables, you will have a little container with some paper clips, and that paper clip will hold things in place as your emoji is being glued in together, or as the glue is drying, so things don't slide apart. So I need to glue this little half accordion fold to my other big accordion fold. I've got it laid out. I'm going to do a line of glue or a few different dots of glue. Okay? When I glue things, and I tell this to the kindergartners, many little dots of glue work better than one big dot. I know it sounds crazy because you think one big dot, a lot of glue, that will really help. Okay? But actually, it's the opposite. Lots of little dots all spread across will work better. So I'm going to put a paper clip there because I don't want that to come undone. Okay? Lay it out one more time. Make sure it's going the right direction before I start to glue. Okay? It looks good. I'm going to have my partner check. Okay? And then I'm going to start gluing these emoji paintings down. So when I glue, like I said, dots are better than lines. Okay? So several little dots going across will work better for me than one line. And when I glue, I'm moving it right to the crease and gluing it down. Okay? Comes my next one. Move right to the crease and glue it down. Okay? Now, as you are gluing things down, you might notice, okay, that this little guide here, that space on either side of the painting is really important. It's kind of like the frame for an Agamograph, so I'm trying to make sure that there's an even space on all of those little emoji paintings. All right, once all my pieces are glued down, I'm going to kind of flatten them out and give them a good back rub so that everything is really glued down and smoothing out nicely. Okay, that might kind of spread out your Agamograph, but that's okay. We just kind of cinch it back into place. All right, once I have all of one painting glued down, I'm going to measure out 2 inches across to do my next painting, and I'm going to cut those just apart. Like before. After I'm cutting them, or as I'm cutting, I'm putting my emoji painting back together, almost like a puzzle. So then I need to put it on those empty spaces where My opposite painting is not. Okay, so I'm going to start on this side, and they are going to be going the other way. This side's a little bit easier because I already have one side down. Okay, it's a little bit easier, but it still could go wrong, so I'm going to have my neighbor check and make sure that it's going side to side the right way. After that, I'm going to glue my strips down. I need to make sure my name and class code is on that back slip, or on the back of my page somewhere, so Miss G, and my class code written in pencil is on the back here. And then it will go to the back table to dry. To make sure that my emoji is gluing properly and that those little tabs are going to glue straight, what I am doing, 4th grade, is I am cinching up 2 neighboring folds, okay, and I'm putting a few paper clips down, and that's to make it so that my emoji painting will glue flat to that flap. Okay, you might need 2 or 3 little paper clips on each. Okay, I don't want to paper clip the whole thing together like this. Okay, so then the whole thing will glue together because there's a lot of glue on here. So kind of just find the neighboring folds, paper clip those together so that everything dries flat. There's no wrinkle bumples in your emoji as it is drying. And if there is, that's okay, we can flatten them out later. But I just am putting these paper clips on now so that next week when we come, they'll be nice and flat and dry. Alright, so your emoji will look kind of like this when it's paper clipped together.